Hello guys, welcome to Quick Office Point for another tutorial that we will be doing together with you. So recently I have been getting so many questions from students who have just completed their KCSE that how do you apply for university? How do you know your cluster points? What do you do? So I'll be showing you how to calculate cluster points, how you can know the cluster points you need, how you can know the course that you want to go and pursue, in which cluster stream or section it is in. So follow this video as follow along and with you how to go about it. So I think step number one, I'll be explaining how you get your cluster points. Now to get your cluster points, you will have to use this equation here. We'll have to use that C. The variables that I have used here is C and is the cluster points, total cluster points that you have. Okay. These are the points in the main cluster subject. Now KUCCPS will show you the main cluster subject. I'll be showing you later in this video how you know the 4 cluster subjects that are needed to pursue your course or the course you want to take. Y will be the total points for the subjects that you got. So that means is the total points you got. So you can say here it's total points that you got. I'll also use an example of someone who maybe got certain grades. So how do you compute it? You say that cluster points will be equivalent to, they will be equals to the square root of x over 48. We said x is the 4 main subjects, so it's the x over 48 you multiply by y over 84. Y is the total points that you got. Then you find the square root of that. You find the square root, you multiply by 48. That's how you get your cluster points. So we will use an example to compute this and to do this. For now, what you need to do, if you want to know more about the cluster subject and the cluster things, you just go to KUCCPS.net and maybe Google KUCCPS.net. You will get so much information from this one. You can take your time and read, walk through everything. But for now, I'll be showing you simple steps on how you can follow. You go to student portal. When you are at the student portal, you can head over to downloads. You can head over to downloads. You can head over to downloads. When you are on the downloads, you can find this document there, student's guide. You can walk through the document. But for those who don't want to walk through the document to know what it talks about, this is how you get your cluster points. For that information, this is a degree cluster document. So here you will be able to see the main subject that are needed. So for cluster 1, you can see here it's cluster 1, subject needed. So the first subject needed, it's either English or Swahili. You have to get a B plane for you to be able to apply. The degree, the bachelor's degree under cluster 1 is bachelor's degrees in law. Subject 2, you have to either have an alternative of mathematics or alternative in a group 2. That's physics, chemistry, biology. You also require a subject 3 subject. Now you can go picking the others that you have passed, the ones that you have good grades. We go to subject 2, to cluster 2, sorry. Cluster 2 has been divided into 2A. We have cluster 2A. We have this is the business courses. The business courses, you will require subject 1 as English or Swahili, and there is no minimum grade for each. Then you will have math or alternative A or B. You need to have a a minimum grade of C plane in most subjects. Then any others, these are any other. Most for business and law courses, they don't have those most minimum requirements. But for medicine and engineering, there are so many requirements that are needed. So maybe you can come and check these on the subject cluster subjects and the requirement. Maybe we can take one for medicine and one for engineering. The ones that require so many subjects as cluster to calculate their cluster weights. For medicine, we can see it here. Now, for example, here we have another cluster, cluster 4. This is the geography, most geo courses. You can see bachelor degree of science in geospatic and geospatial information system. You can see that you have to require subject 1 to have a C plus, maybe maths. Subject 2 is physics to have a C plus. Subject 3 geo, and any subject 4. So any other subject that you have passed. If you go to engineering, you can see you have math C plus, physics C plus, and chemistry C plus, or any subject 4. Bio or any group 3 or any group 4, like Kiswahili, such. You need to have a C plus. Also remember that it will also go with competitiveness. So yes, you meet the minimum requirements, but how many people who have applied for this course and they have a higher degree, they have a higher cluster than you? That is one, and also they have a good grade than you. So the cluster will also be determined by the grade. So they will use cluster point to place you. So it's also good to find the cluster points. That for aeronautical chemistry, civil engineering, they are in cluster 5 subjects. So we can look at one computer science and maybe a medicine course. We have cluster 7A subjects. Cluster 7A subject, we have if you want to pursue a bachelor's degree in computer science, bachelor's degree in computer science, applied computer science, applied computer science, applied physics and computer science, in software engineering, in computer technology and computer information systems. So with this cluster, you will require mathematics. So math, you must have attained grade C plus as a requirement, as a minimum requirement. Subject 2 will be physics. You also need to have a C plus in physics. You will also require subject 3, subcode group or any group 3. You will require to have at least a C plane in either English, Swahili, or any other subject. You can have subject 4 as group 2 or group 3 or any group 5 or any group 7 subjects. You will require just to pick one subject that you have passed. Okay, maybe I can search for you medicine. Bachelor's degree in medicine, dental surgery, medicine, and surgery. You can come here and confirm that it's cluster 13A. You will require a minimum of B plane in biology, a minimum of B plane in chemistry, alternative B plane, and all English and Swahili B plane. So from there, you can head over to calculate your cluster points. Then you can come to this degree cutoff. You'll find them on the student.coops.net. You can download them from there. So you can use this to gauge yourself. You can let me zoom it for you to see it properly. this is what you can use. Each university have different cluster weights. So maybe we can search one for medicine. We can search where medicine is. Good. We have Egerton University medicine. We can be able to see the last year's cutoff points, forward cutoff points for Egerton. I believe this is 2021 cutoff for 2021. As you can see here, these are cutoff. We can then go to medicine where it is. Egerton medicine. We go to Egerton last year. Egerton medicine. The entry points was 36.1, 36.55 for you to get into Egerton University School of Medicine and pursue medicine. 38 for University of Nairobi, 38.263. So how will you know this is the cluster I have? This is a point I have. The cluster has some points and such. So maybe you can search another course. Let's see computer science, the entry grades, computer science. Good, we have computer science. You can see some range of university like Kipia, Moranga, Egerton, Rongo, Africa Nazarene. So if you stretch this to the far end, you can see that Rongo 19, Moranga 31, 35, another university 19, 42. So how will you know the clusters that you have? I'll be using an example of a group student here. This student inboxed us asking us to calculate for her the cluster points she has. So for A we have 12 points, A minus 11 points, B plus we have 10 points, B we have 9 points, B minus we have 8 points, C plus we have 7 points, then we have C we have 6 points, C minus we have 5 points, then we have the from C minus where do we go? D plus we have 4 points, D we have 3 points, D minus we have 2 points, and E 1 point. So in this case, let me use a random name for my student here. We call her student XYZ. Student XYZ. Student of mine here got a mean grade of 76 points. That's an A minus. She got a B in English, so English B. She got a A minus in Swahili, an A minus. Maths she got a B plain. Bio she got an A. Physics she got a B minus. Chem she got a B plus. History B plus. A, and business A. I'd like us to calculate the cluster points for this student. First of all, we are going to calculate the cluster point to see if she can fit in a medicine school. So remember the document that we used. Then we are going to use this document here. This document as a subject. So we come to the bachelor's degree of medicine. Medicine Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. Medicine and Surgery. So what will be our first cluster subject? Our first cluster subject, as you can see from this documentation from Cooks, is biology. You must have a B plane. Going to our student here, this student has a A in biology. So we have to calculate we take an A is an A in biology represents 12 points. So here we can come and add 12 points. Yeah, we can say it's 12 plus. We must first of all get the 4 main subject. 12 plus. We go to the second subject. For medicine here, subject 2 is chemistry, as you can see. Subject 2 is chemistry. So we come here and say subject 2 is our chemistry. We had a B plus in chemistry. So subject 2 here is chemistry. Sorry for the confusion. Subject 2 is chemistry. Okay, our subject 2. So we go to the documentation and find the subject 2. So subject 2 for medicine is chemistry. So we come here and indicate the chemistry grade. Her grade is 10, a B plus. So we'll add 10 here. Then we go and look for subject 3. Subject 3, maths alternative A subject. That is, as you can see here, it's physics. We have written here physics. Any physics or any other course for that group 3, subject 3, that is for that group. So we come here and color our physics here. Let's give it a color. That's physics. Physics, she has 11, so we add, that's 11 plus now the last subject. We come here and see subject 4, it's either English, Swahili, or that group 2, or any group 3, or any group 4, or any group 5 subjects. So here we can basically take any other subject that she has the highest grade. In that case, she has an A minus in Kiswahili, but she also has a A in Geo and an A in business. So we can go with 12 points. So how many points are these? We have now our 4 main, and that is our x. So here we were calculating x. What is x equals to? You get, if you add this, it will total up to 45. A total up to 45. Have our x. Now our y we already have. This is in grade of 76 points. This is our y. Get is 76. Now we come back to our equation and replace the x with this x that we have here. So here we replace this x verse here with 45. We replace this y here with 76. Hope you can all see. We are replacing this with 76. Then we multiply by 84. So we are going to take the 45, 48, multiply by, maybe you can use the calculator here. Now we can come here and calculate the cluster that we need. Here we have seen that we need to get the square root. Maybe first of all we can put them in brackets. We apply it. We say it's the square root. We are finding the square root of these functions here. We are using this to get the square root. Where is the square root function? Yeah, good, it's here. Find the square root square root of now you calculate 45. Now I think we can calculate together. So 45 over 48, what is that? We come to our calculator here. Forty-five over 48 we'll get 0.9375. So here we will have square root of here we can have the square root of 0.9. What have we gotten here? 0.9375 multiplied by 76 over 84. Come here and calculate 76 over 84. Get 0.947. I think for this case I can round off to get 0.9048. Then when we get the square root of this multiplied, we multiply them by 40. So let's multiply, let's find the square root of 0.9, these and these multiplied, and get 0.9375. So we can just use this answer here and multiply it by 0.9, 0.9375, 0.935 answer. So we get the answer as 0.84821. Now we want to find the square root of this. We can get the square root of this, get the square root of that. So the square root we get is 0.92. To get 0.9288, pick up this baby. Then if we get this is what you have get after we have found the square root, we have gotten our answer is that. So we can multiply this by 48, get the cluster. Just use answer here and multiply by 48. Multiply by 48. And we get our point as 44.203. This will be our cluster here. So based on this is our cluster now, based on last year's cluster points, can this student apply for medicine at the University of Nairobi? So we come here to our cluster document. This is where the cutoffs were. Let's try to find medicine. So here, this is University of Nairobi medicine. What was the last year's cutoff? The last year's cutoff was 38.8263. 2021 was 38.312. 37. So based on this, we can tell the student to apply for medicine at the University of Nairobi, and we believe that her first choice, the University of Nairobi, for bachelor's degree in medicine, she will get it. If you want to us to calculate for you the cluster point, then you can request us there. You can also request us to guide you on how you can apply for a university course. Thank you very much for following this on how to calculate this. You can find all this document at the group on how to calculate on the subject that are required. I've just used that as a sample and an example. Yeah, you can find all these documents at the KUCCPS.net and calculate them for yourself. Feel free to follow, ask any question, yeah, and we'll be ready to guide you where you need help. Thank you very much. Can I like our channel, Quick Office Point? Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. You can request us to make videos for you as such, and also see all our other e-services that we provide. Thank you very much. All the best.